Take a look at these 3 cards. Tell me what you like about them. What stands out about these cards? How about now? If I hadn't chosen to externalize what was on the other side of these cards, how would you have known what to look for, why to look for it, why it stands out, why you want to look? Before we start, I'm cleansing the space with my handmade little altar helper spirit guide Luz. And she's cleansing the space with celestial, cosmic, divine, Arcturian, what did I already say that? Oh, starseed like energy. If you know, you know. I used to feel invisible because I felt like people weren't looking at me. And I used to think that people weren't looking at me. People weren't paying me any mind because I wasn't pretty enough, talented enough, or gifted enough to stand out, just intrinsically, inherently. Something was flawed about me. I thought that I wasn't worthy enough to be admired or celebrated or witnessed just by nature. Like, that's just how it was. That was a really challenging state of mind to be in, and there was a moment where I gave up. I went through a period where my inner critic completely took over and completely just sucked the joy out of everything. I was constantly hearing this voice when I was out hanging with friends. During my graduation, when I graduated college a year ago, I couldn't even enjoy my graduation. I couldn't enjoy my birthday last year because my inner critic was constantly telling me that, oh, the friend that you're with, she's prettier than you, she's more talented than you, that's why you're not in a relationship, that's why you didn't get on the honor roll, that's why this, that, and the third, that's why, it was really hard. Within the last, almost a year, I'd say, I've had a real breakthrough, and what I did basically was, after giving up, I gave in. I gave into how I wanted to dress, the life that I wanted to live. I gave into the things that I wanted to create, the videos and pictures that I wanted to post, the ideas that I wanted to birth. I gave in completely. And I fully went all in. I started going all in January 2025. And only about halfway through the year, I feel like my internal world has completely transformed and the external is catching up as well. Now, what was good about that period of sadness, of depression, is I got really familiar with my inner critic. I got really familiar with why my inner critic was saying those things, where those wounds came from. As a Black girl, as a queer girl, as a neurodivergent girl, as an artist, a first-generation college student, college graduate with a degree in studio art, and as a first-generation entrepreneur, my self-concept, my subconscious core beliefs about who I was, what kind of life I was allowed to live, what was possible for me, had been informed by systemic, personal, and generational trauma. I had to uproot those beliefs about myself. I had to really go deep in and heal my self-esteem, how I felt about myself, what I believed about myself, and realize that those beliefs weren't mine. They were imprinted in my subconscious from internalized injustice, systemic resistance, whether it's indirectly or directly, traumatic experiences that reflected negative and limiting beliefs about my looks, my hair, my features, a lack of role models, a lack of diversity, not seeing anyone who looked like me from my background do what I want to do, had an impact on what I believed was possible. The system that values the masculine, linear, binary realism, things that are lucrative, things that just don't align with me, a system that is only really made to work for one demographic. But me, I internalized that who I am as an artist, as a multi-passionate, isn't going to get me anywhere. My features aren't beautiful enough. These were things that I believed about myself, and that is why I was miserable. And because I believed those things about myself, I lived in a way where I was trying to find ways to fix myself. I inherently thought something was wrong with me because that's what I was taught, as well as, things I experienced, verbal abuse and assault and just discrimination, just all these things I had internalized as something is wrong with me. I did not want to get emotional on this video. And then generational drama, patterns that I inherited, sabotage patterns I inherited from my family. My family never taught me how to build structure. My family never had the privilege or the capacity or the autonomy or time or, just availability that I have to pursue what I want, to pursue my true dreams. And so they don't have a map for me. They don't have advice for me. They don't hold the complete vision. I'm literally building the path as I walk it. I really spent a long time getting to know my shadow, beginning to understand that these feelings, these thoughts, these beliefs I had about myself were not true, that they're not the complete truth, that I could remove them, that they do not have to rule my life, the type of life I get to have, that is my choice, and that I did not choose those beliefs about myself. Oh my God, I don't know why this is so emotional. I haven't talked about this in a long time. I have really been feeling better mentally. Like I've really shifted my subconscious core beliefs in the last almost year. So it's still a bit fresh. My entire life before that, I was living with a wounded self-concept. I got to know my shadow, and I realized it's not my fault. These are not my beliefs to hold. I get to choose what beliefs I have about myself, what is true about my life, and who I want to be, how I want to live. That is my choice. So I had to reclaim that actively. This is what I did. These are the action steps I took. So I realized limiting beliefs imprinted on my subconscious, on my self-concept, on my beliefs, structures, on my perspective, could be removed, could be extracted, could be reworked, could be reprogrammed. So I began understanding also how those imprints on your subconscious, on my subconscious, began to show up as patterns, as self-sabotage, things I've observed my family do, how they self-sabotage, how I repeated that cycle, and how I'm meant to end it. Perfectionism, doubt, fear, anything to keep myself small, to keep myself from doing what I actually wanted to do. And so no wonder I felt invisible. This journey is not about anyone else but you. Because, like I said in the beginning, take a look at these. What stands out about these cards? How can you differentiate these cards? You can't until I choose to show you the true nature of these cards, the full picture of these cards. And what I'm trying to say here is, consider your creations, your passions, how you live, an extension of you. And is how you're living really true to who you are, to what you want to do, to the kind of life you want to have? Is the way you speak about yourself aligned? Is the way that you act aligned? Do you let fear stop you or motivate you? Do you walk into every year with the same New Year's resolutions because you were too scared to post the video? Because you kept self-sabotaging yourself out of consistency, kept talking yourself out of posting, kept procrastinating, saying, oh, I just need to read one more book, need to research one more thing, because you deep down don't feel like you're ready enough, worthy enough as the version that you are right now. But you are. The version of you right now is capable of success, is worthy of being admired, is worthy of being seen. But you have to be you. You have to stop hiding. You have to externalize your ideas, your vision. You have to externalize yourself. Because right now, this is what people are looking at. They don't know what to look at, who to look for, why to look yet. Because you're hiding. Because the exact things that you have told yourself make you cringy, that you told yourself you will be judged or laughed at for, are exactly what is going to make people look, what is going to make you shine. You're dimming your light. That's why you feel invisible. You have conditioned yourself to try and blend in as a coping mechanism, because you have been told the things that make you stand out, the things that make you you, something is wrong with them. That dreaming of being an artist or a content creator or an entrepreneur is unrealistic. That you're going to fail. Intrinsically, you're meant to fail. Who told you that? Those beliefs aren't yours. What I did, I began creating. I began posting the videos I wanted to post, filming the videos I wanted to film, saying the things I wanted to say. While those voices were still there, while those voices were in the back of my head, I had learned that those are feelings. Those are not factual. Those are not rules. Those are not laws. Those are not barriers. They are simply wounds. Things that need to be healed. And the second you choose to stop letting your external circumstances, things other people said to you, everything outside of you, your past, dictate what is possible for you, dictate what you believe about yourself, is when everything shifts. That is when that elevation happens. So I began posting, sharing what I wanted to do, being consistent, even when I felt lazy, even when I felt scared. Here's what happened. I decided to go all in January. Now, in January, I had none of this. But now, in July 2025, I have a full-blown Etsy shop that I'm selling my original artwork on. I've reached the first tier of monetization on YouTube. I am like 500 watch hours away from qualifying for AdSense. I went on my very first solo trip. As an anxious, neurodivergent introvert, I went on my first solo trip to a place I had never been, completely by myself. Released my first digital product. I wrote an ebook. I wrote it about the work that I did, the shadow work that it took, the reflection, the creative practices, how I used my own creative practice to heal and work through this heavy, ancestral, deep, challenging work to remove the imprint of systemic, generational, and personal trauma from my mind, from my beliefs, from my perspective. If you're ready to start doing this work to remove those imprints, that book is there to help you. But the most impactful thing are not even these measurements, okay? The most impactful things is as soon as I started sharing myself, the way that I was received completely debunked the beliefs I had about myself. And I still am debunking these beliefs in real time. But the difference is, I used to let these beliefs stop me from doing anything, paralyze me, make me shrink, make me hide, make me dim my light. So people couldn't even find me. People, of course, they can't see you. When they look at you, when people look at you, when you are in that state, they're not looking at you because you're not allowing yourself to be seen. How can they look at you when you have a veil thrown over you? When I went to my first open mic, I was scared. I thought I was going to mess up. I thought I was going to be laughed at. I ended up competing and winning $200 at the very first open mic I went to. You will be surprised how you will be rewarded for facing your fears. The universe wants to debunk those beliefs you have about yourself, to show you that there is more for you. When I went on my first solo trip, I was anxious, I was scared, I was confused, I had to figure some things out, I made mistakes, but it was the most transformative trip. It allowed me to step into the most relaxed, abundant, happy, fulfilled version of myself. And I'm working towards that every day now. It raised the bar completely for my quality of life and what I believe is possible for me. And what I believe I'm capable of. I figured it out. I did it all on my own. I felt awkward eating by myself. I did it anyway. It showed me that I can do hard things and I can create the experiences and adventure that I want, and I don't have to wait on anyone. When I started posting on YouTube, I was worried that no one would like me, that I'm too awkward to be a YouTuber, that I have nothing important to say. Who am I to talk about this? Nobody wants to hear from me. What I have to say isn't important. I started posting. Look at these comments. I have gotten some of the most beautiful comments that have shown me that I'm not alone in how I feel, and that other people have felt the same, that I'm not walking this journey alone, and that other people are able to see beauty in me that I cannot see. Allow other people to see beauty in you that you cannot see. Look at these pieces. Can you tell me where I messed up? Where did I mess up in drawing these? What don't I like about these drawings? Do you know? No, you're looking at these with fresh eyes. People are looking upon you with fresh eyes. When you have a wounded self-concept, you often look at yourself and all you see are the flaws, perceived flaws. But other people look at it, and the perceived flaws, what you see as flaws, they see as attributes. I feel awkward and weird on camera, and I am at the point where I stopped caring, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that anymore. Because people have commented and been like, I really like your personality. I really like your voice. I really like how authentic you are. Look at these comments. Like, I'm going to collect some of the most beautiful comments, and just for me being myself. I show up imperfectly. I stumble on my words. I don't get my message across, as concisely as I want to. Perfection is not required for success. Perfection is not required to be admired. Courage is. Courage is the only thing you need. Authenticity is the only thing you need. When I shared my ebook, I challenged myself to begin posting on my personal TikTok. I used to just post, little cute outfit videos, like not really showing me. Like, my YouTube channel is my most authentic page right now. I'm trying to expand that across platforms. When I shared my ebook, 2 mutuals comment on that page. I'll show you the comments. And here I am. My biggest fear with sharing myself online, and this is a fear that many of us have, people are going to judge us, people are going to laugh at us. And here I am being admired and seen and witnessed for my deeply authentic creations and work. Courage gets rewarded. I even had someone from my past reach out about the ebook. Like, I'm not saying it's not a hard journey. It is challenging. It's deep work. It's ancestral even for first generation people and BIPOC people dealing with inherited fears and epigenetics. But I'm saying, and I'm not saying that there won't be negativity sometimes, that sometimes people will judge, sometimes people won't get it. But I'm saying the impact of the people who do, of the opportunities that do come to you, of the experiences that you do attract that are deeply aligned with you, the real you, are way bigger than that. You won't even be able to see that anymore. That is my little message for today. Yeah, I hope this was helpful. I just wanted to share a bit of my story because I get a lot of comments about people saying that I seem very authentic, very confident in who I am, and that they're surprised that I say that I dealt with insecurities or fear of being perceived, and I still do. The fear comes up every day, but I have just practiced working through it. I have strengthened that muscle of not letting fear and doubt and insecurity stop me from doing anything, because it has been disproven. It has been proven that these feelings don't prove anything. They don't have validity or influence on results unless you allow them to. I hope this video was helpful. I hope this video made you feel a bit seen, a bit more understood, and a bit more hopeful and a bit more inspired. That is all. Thank you for watching. That's all from your favorite fairy godfriend. Until the next video.